Hi there. In today's video, I'll be reviewing this wireless programmer that was sent to me from the folks over at TIDRADIO. I'm not the first to review this device. I know that there's some other reviews out there of the previous version of this product. However, the programmer I have here is the latest greatest version 2.0. So in the box, what you get is a customer support contact card. There's a user manual. It's pretty straightforward. A charging cable, and this is what the wireless programmer looks like. And on the end is your power button, so if you press that, blue light comes on. And it has a two-prong Kenwood style connection. So when I unboxed this thing for the first time and started using it, my initial impression was I think it's a convenient way of programming certain radios. And whether you're new to radios or if you've been around for a while and you are used to programming them, I think people would appreciate the convenience factor. If you're new to radio, how to program one is one of the first tasks that you'll encounter. And for those that are new, learning how to create code plugs with software may be a little intimidating because there is a bit of a learning curve. Another thing that I noticed was that how quickly I was up and running. I was using this product fairly quickly, really just within probably 5 or 10 minutes, and it does work as advertised. Another impression was that it's a great device to use if you're programming radios on the go. In the past, when I wanted to take a radio with me on a trip, I would have to go through repeaterbook.com, and then I would search for repeaters in the area that I was traveling through. I would use that information to create the code plug in either Chirp or RT systems, and then once the code plug was built, I would write the data to my radio from my laptop. And the process, if you go that route, can be a little labor intensive. This product's different in that you can use an app on your phone in conjunction with the dongle that plugs into your radio, and that enables you to download data from the radio. You can edit it, search for repeaters, and then write your updated code plug back to the radio. And it's fairly simple to use. As of the posting of this video, I believe the wireless programmer retails for approximately $24.99. According to the specifications, the programmer supports a variety of radios that use the Kenwood style two-prong plug. I noticed one of the supported radios is the Bofeng UV5R, and since that's a fairly popular radio, I chose that for this demo. So I'll be using a UV5R to show you how it works momentarily. There's a couple of ways to set your code plug up. So the first is to download an app called Oddmaster, and the other is via the Oddmaster web client. One of the features that I like best is the ability to search for nearby repeaters. Download that information and then save it into your code plug. Some points worth noting when you begin using the programmer. So the app does ask for location sharing and Bluetooth access. Enabling Bluetooth is going to allow the programmer to connect to the phone, and location enables you to search for your repeaters through the app. There is also a social networking feature in the phone app. I thought that was kind of interesting because they're basically enabling their user base to network with each other, share code plugs and other information, and use that feedback to improve the product. The app is available for Android and iOS, and all you need to do is download the Oddmaster app from either Google Play or iTunes. The first time you use the app, it's going to ask for permission, as I mentioned, to use Bluetooth and location. So if you don't want to grant access to location sharing, then you can deny that. I have mine enabled because I want to be able to search for repeaters. And when you download the app, the other thing that you'll have to do is create an account. So one of the reasons for that is when you create an account and you log into the web version, you can basically sync your information, your code plug. So if you build a code plug in the app, you can save it and it'll show up on the web client version. And if you go into the web client version, open up your code plug and edit it, then you can sync it to your phone app. And the next thing I'll do is I'm going to demo the software and how it works on my Android device. And to start, I'm going to connect the wireless programmer to the UV5R. And I'll begin sharing my screen on my phone shortly. One thing I did want to mention when I was looking through the instructions is that there's a note about ensuring that the programmer is properly seated to the radio. If it's not properly seated, what will happen is when you go to write your code plug to the radio on the app, you'll get a message that it didn't successfully write. So if that happens, the remedy is to make sure that the programmer is pushed in all the way and then reattempt to write to the radio. Okay, so I'll switch over to my screen on my phone and show you how the app works. I'm sharing the screen on my Android phone, and when you download the Oddmaster app and open it up, you'll see a login, and if you don't have an account, you can click register, enter your information, and once an account is created, go back to login, enter your credentials, and then that's how you can access the app. So I already have a generic code plug already written to the radio. It's got one weather channel on it, and what I'll do once I log in is I'll show you around the different features of the app first, and then I'll go into the portion where you can program a radio, and I'll download the code plug that I already have saved to the radio. I'll modify it by adding the national 2-meter calling frequency as well as search for a local repeater, download that information, and then save it and write my updated code plug to the radio. I'm logged into the app, and I mentioned before that there's a social networking feature to it, and I'll talk about that before I start programming the radio. But in the lower left-hand corner, there's an icon titled Talk, and if you click on that, you'll see some options. There's history, groups, and friends, and it looks like on the history column you can review your friends list as well as any groups that you're in. If you do click on the groups icon and select recommended channels, some default channels will, or chats I guess, will pop up. It looks like there's one for Bofeng UV5R users and Bofeng owners. And then if you back out of that and go to friends, any contacts that you add, you can, looks like you can add them there. And also it appears that you can talk to your contacts through this app. It looks like there's a push to talk button, which is the microphone icon with the circle around it. Next, if you go to status, and that's the icon in between the me and plus icons, if you click on that, you'll see a section for hotspot, and it looks like people have posted code plugs, and it looks like just kind of a general area to talk to other users and post questions. Next, if you click on radio, I believe you can add the model and make of your radio if you like. There's groups. If you click on repeaters, you can, looks like you can find some repeaters in your area, and looks like there's a section to follow. If you click on the me icon, you can go into there to access your settings, and you can update your Bluetooth configuration or change your password. And I'll back out of that, and now I'll jump into programming the Bofeng UV5R. So I do have the wireless dongle plugged into the radio, and both of those are turned on. And I'll click the program icon. And so the first thing you'll want to do is connect Bluetooth, and you don't need to go into your phone settings to connect the dongle to the phone via Bluetooth. You just click on the icon that's in the app, and then it'll show you your devices. Mine's the TIDRADIO device, and so I'll turn that on. And then now I need to select my model, and I'll select Bofang and UV5R. And so now what I'll do is read the code plug that's already in the radio. And you can see the progress bar is moving, and I haven't gotten any errors that it failed to read, so it looks like my wireless programmer is properly seated. So I'll give that a second. Okay, so now this is the data that's on the radio, and I left channel 0 blank. I pre-programmed the radio with a weather channel, and that's on channel 1. So if we click on this drop down and select channel 1, you can see that my frequency is programmed into the receive and transmit. And then under the name, if you scroll down at the bottom, I've titled it WX1. If I go to channel 2, you'll see that that's empty, and that's my next available channel slot. So what I'm going to do is program a simplex frequency into this channel slot, and I've chosen the national 2-meter calling frequency. So I'll type that in now. It's 146520, and I'll type in the same frequency on the transmit, 146520. And if I scroll all the way down, I want to name it, and I'll just title it Nation. So I know what that is. And next, what I want to do is I want to add a repeater to my code plug. So in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see an icon titled Repeater List. So if you click on that, it'll populate all of the repeaters that are near me. So I'm just going to pick one at random, and I'll select this one. And there's a drop down that is titled Import To. So if I select that, and I want to select my next channel slot, channel 3, confirm, import. And then what I want to do is I want to write that to my radio. And we can see the progress bar is moving again. And then after it writes to the radio, what I'll do is I want to save my code plug. And I'll give it a generic name. I'll call it test. And what should happen is once I save my generic code plug, it should sync with the web client of Oddmaster. So I'm going to click confirm, and I want to select save, and I'll title this one test. Confirm. And just looking at my radio, you can't see it right now, but I can. Looks like I'm just going to scroll through the channels, and I do see that it saved my national 2-meter calling frequency and then the repeater that I selected. So if you click on the RxTX icon, you'll see that the code plug was saved. And in a moment, I'll switch screens and jump over to the laptop and log into the web client, and I'll show you that that test was saved. Anyway, that's the walkthrough of the app, and now I'll show you what the web client looks like. Okay, I'm back on my laptop, and I'm going to go to the login page to the Oddmaster website. And I'm going to leave a link to the website address in the description below, but once you enter your credentials and click sign in, you'll be prompted to complete a CAPTCHA. And once you log in, you should be able to see your code plug that you created, and there's the one that I created on my phone. It's my test code plug, and if you go to this blue icon to the right and click on that, you can view the code plug that you created, and if you want to make any changes to it, you can do that from here. But you can see the national 2-meter calling frequency that I saved to channel slot 2, and then the repeater that I selected on channel slot 3. And it's pretty convenient to be able to go to any machine, log in, update your code plug, sync it to your phone, and then write that data from your phone to the radio. The only thing that I think needs to be updated, and it's really not that big of a deal, but when I went to log out, and this little drop down is just slightly off of the browser to where you can't really read every one of the options. And I'm sure that's a very simple fix. And like I said, it's not that big of a deal, but that's the only thing that I think probably needs to be updated. Otherwise, it's, like I said, very convenient to be able to log in from any machine and do this. And once you make your changes, you click save, and it'll save it, and then you can go back into your app and write that updated code plug to your radio. Before I wrap up this video, I wanted to go back to the radio and just show you that the code plug did successfully write. So if I cycle through the channels, you'll see the 2-meter calling frequency and then the repeater that I also saved to the code plug. I think using both the phone app and the wireless dongle are pretty straightforward and intuitive. As I mentioned before, after unboxing and downloading the software onto my phone, I was up and running within 5 to 10 minutes. I think the ability to search for local repeaters, download that information into my code plug, and write that updated code plug on the fly is a pretty great feature. Recently, I traveled out of state and I debated whether I should even bring a radio with me, and ultimately I decided not to because I just didn't have time to update my existing code plug. And I definitely value the convenience of being able to search for repeaters, update my code plug without needing a laptop, and I think it's certainly a time saver. And as I mentioned earlier, for people who are fairly new to radio who may not be very technical, this makes programming a lot easier in my opinion. I don't believe this will replace programming radios using software like Chirp and RT Systems, nor is it intended to, but I think it's a nice complement to one's overall radio kit, and there's definitely a place for this device in mine. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful, and thank you to the folks over at TIDRADIO for sending me the wireless programmer and the opportunity to review it. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.